Okay, stage 4, the cloth setup. Here's a little flip book. Go. So, dive into it. So to begin with, what I did was a FBX import. So this is everything. So you could, there's different ways to bring in your cloth model. So what I actually did was I started with this test model, the capybara. So if we go see images, here's our model. What you could do is just export that as an alembic. So right now this is the static A pose. What I did is I just exported this rest geo and then opened up Marvelous Designer. And then in Marvelous Designer, it's just import alembic. So the scales are different. So you could either adjust it through the menus in Marvelous Designer or in Houdini. You could always just add a transform. And then depending on what scale settings, it'd be either like really scaling it up to 1000 or something really small. It's like really small now. So, and then you just go into Marvelous. What I did is I already had this garment for a different avatar. So I just put this model in the same scene with the old scene. And then I used these where is it? Arrangement points and bounding volumes. It's not showing right now. And then you just adjust your garments. So this had to be scaled up a lot compared to my previous garment for an actual human character, but roughly the scale is similar. And then once you're happy with your garment, you just go File, Export. I used FBX in this case. Just export that. Close this. And then go back in here. And then I import that FBX. So right now I export it with the avatar itself. And then the file is written like this. This is just when you create the HDA, you'll attach this file. And then the path looks something like this. This just means that the FBX is attached to the .otl file itself. And from here, just blasted his body, so it's just the garment. And then if we look at this, right now it's just 1.1 pack geometry. So you throw in unpack. And then now we have all of our points and polygons. And then you could create a vellum cloth. There we go. Density you could adjust. Stiffness, I just have that as 1. Compression stiffness is on. So stretch and bend is being outputted. Then another vellum attach. And then so here is our skin sim. So that way our cloth is going to be colliding with our skin, and you could attach a constraint if you want it to slide on it. In this case I blasted his arms or his hands. I probably could blast his head off also. I think I just blasted the hands off because with this animation, his hands are going through his body, so it's breaking the simulation a little bit. There you go. So that's attached. And then, yeah, you could turn on the sliding rate if you want it to be extra tight to his body. And then you could adjust the sliding rate. Solver, I just have one substep on. And then, so this is what the result looks like with those settings, which works for this. Usually these kind of athletic outfits are tight to the body. So this kind of matches that. It's pretty tight to the body, so you still get to read his body geometry underneath it to feel his skin folds and the fat sim and muscles. One thing that I would need to go back to in the actual garment in Marvelous would be to tailor these shorts in the crotch area to go a little bit higher, higher up his legs, because right now it's just stretching. So that's the sim, but the other approach is if you want a non-dynamic cloth, you just bring in your FBX and blast it. Otherwise, you could just use the same FBX. You don't need two imports. And then you just do a point deform. So you just take your cloth model and then do a point deform to our skin sim output. And then you could add a little smooth if you want to make it look a little bit cleaner. And then there's your output. See how long this will take to do a flip book. And usually this is a lot quicker, but my RAM on my laptop is pretty bogged down right now. So you can see if maybe this character is a little bit further away and you didn't want to run a sim for whatever reason, you could just have a non-dynamic version, which works pretty good, especially with this outfit, since this kind of athletic outfit is really tight to the body anyways. So that works pretty good. So if you want to keep both of those in the setup, you could just add a switch here. So with this switch, you could switch between dynamic and non-dynamic. So if, right now, the way I have it set up, if you just keep it as 0, it'll just be the dynamic cloth. And then we throw in a file cache. And this is the hierarchy that we're keeping, so we could connect it later with tops. And output the cloth sim. So next step is 5, finaling and Alembic export.